Hello, iTalki teachers and students. I have taken more than 300 lessons with over 50 different teachers in 6 different languages on the platform, and I want to share the love. So today I'm going to tell you my 10 favorite teachers that I've taken lessons with on iTalki in different languages in no particular order. And I'm going to put each of their profiles down in the box below. So if you're interested in learning in any of these languages, please check their profiles out. Also, if you believe that there's a teacher who deserves recognition, throw their profile in the box below and let us know why you enjoyed taking classes with them. Without further ado, let's begin. So the first person who I want to give recognition to is a French teacher who I've taken dozens of lessons with. Her name is Céline. I really admire her patience. She is a fantastic listener. And I think that's the reason why I've taken so many classes with her. She's incredibly consistent and punctual. Whenever I have asked to do different activities, she always plays ball. She's always game for it. And I think that's really what you're going to see as I go through this list of teachers, that a lot of them just, when it comes down to it, they listen to the needs of their students and they play ball. Awesome. So thank you, Céline. For Yulieth, number 2, she is a Spanish teacher from Colombia. I have taken dozens of lessons with her. One word: enthusiasm. I was taking lessons with her when I lived in Ireland. It was like noon for me. It was probably 5 or 6 a.m. for her. She starts teaching every morning, early in the morning, and she is ready to go. There is never a dull moment. And I think that kind of enthusiasm is really what I try to emulate as a teacher as well. It really helps your students feel heard and feel like they are like you're happy to see them. She always makes me feel respected. So if you're looking to learn some Spanish, head on over to Juliet's profile. All right, fantastic. German teacher, Till. What I like about Till is what you see is what you get. Yeah. I remember when I watched his video when he was a new teacher on iTalki, and I heard him speaking about the fact that he likes to keep the conversation going. He likes to keep the ball rolling. He doesn't like to cut things off at every single point to give grammatical instruction and all that jazz. He likes to keep the conversation going, and that's exactly what I wanted. Yeah. This conversational flow is very important to me. I think that it's one of the reasons why it's important for us iTalki teachers to also take lessons on iTalki is because we get to see different teaching styles as well. But you could also sometimes see the same teaching style that you possess as a teacher, but just delivered in a different way. And this is a thing of magic. So I really enjoyed my lessons with Till. We spoke about his amazing experiences in Eastern Europe and how he teaches the guitar online. And I think that was a great opportunity to kind of see a little piece of my style used by somebody else. All right, number 4, she's another French teacher. There are many French teachers on the list. Her name is May. And when I took a lesson with May, I was like, whoa, hold on, what am I getting into? She was probably the most organized teacher that I've ever taken a lesson with. I just got in there. She shared a Google Doc with me, and this Google Doc was just filled with columns, what we're working on this time, what we worked on last time, what we're working on next time. And this is really where I got my inspiration to work with Google Docs, to create my own kind of format and template as well. I really owe all of that to May. She also used these materials to really kind of hash out the 4 skills, working on speaking, teaching me pronunciation. We also worked on some things that we kind of gloss over as English speakers, such as giving your email address, giving your phone number on the phone. And these are quite simple things, but honestly, when we're learning a language, I seldom learn this. for one reason or another. And I really appreciate that May went over that with me, because she's the only French teacher. She's the only teacher on iTalki who has done that. So for organization, she gets top points. All right, number 5, a Portuguese teacher from Brazil. Her name is Isadora. Isadora has one of the most calming voices I have ever heard. She's a great listener. She's so attentive, but she's patient as well. You could really see that she's listening to you. And we went over pronunciation and conquered these Brazilian Portuguese sounds that I never thought I'd be able to really get to. So if you're interested in learning Portuguese, especially the Brazilian variety, head over to her profile. Her and I was taking 60-minute lessons in a language that I was probably only A2 at the beginning, and maybe reached somewhere around B1 by the end. And to be able to speak for that long, especially all the mixing up with Spanish, which was a common theme in these lessons, I really give it to her that she had tremendous patience. So yeah, head on down, check out her profile. Okay, number 6, let's talk about Italian teacher Mariangela. The thing I could say about her is that she just plays ball. Yeah. As I was saying before, I reached out to her and I said, I know I'm not very good at Italian, but in these 30-minute lessons, I just want to speak Italian as much as possible. If there's some point where we really need to translate, absolutely, but I want to try to immerse myself in the language, and she did that. She was more than happy to. I took about 10 lessons with her. I've taken 10 or more lessons, I think, with all of these teachers. And she allowed me to speak in Italian for 10 lessons, 30-minute lessons. And I know this seems like it should be a given, but really I have seen my fair share of iTalki teachers, and some teachers just aren't, they just don't like hearing you butcher the language, and they aren't able to just stick to the language being learned, and they like to revert back to English. I really appreciate that Mariangela didn't do that. And the same with the next teacher. Dutch teacher Irmarie. She listened to my needs. She listened to my desires. I told her I want to speak Dutch for 30 minutes. That's it at every lesson, and that's exactly what we did. She gave me a few translations, because I think just how I mixed up Portuguese with Spanish constantly. I also mixed up Dutch with German quite often as well. And she was able to kind of see those intersections. And that's that's another reason why it's so important for language teachers to also learn a language. Even if it's just as a hobby, if it's not for fluency, that's fine. But she was able to see why I was making these mistakes. She was able to see these kind of transfer errors from German to Dutch. And, the different... she actually asked me at one point, are you learning German? Right? She knew why I was kind of inverting the subject and the verb at different points. That takes great intelligence as a teacher. So if you're looking to learn Dutch, definitely check out her profile down there, and she'll make it nice and interesting for you. Okay, Nouhaila, she really, as I said, this list is not in any particular order, but I have to point out, I really enjoy lessons with Nouhaila. She is a French teacher from Morocco, from Casablanca, and gosh, she is such a critical thinker. I mean, when we're speaking, she will really outline different points in a very ABC kind of way. We had great conversational lessons, but I noticed how well she listened to me, because I would talk about something and she would kind of reiterate, Ryan, I noticed that you mentioned this. It sounds like you're interested in this. Would you like to talk about this next time? And she was probably one of the only teachers who kind of looked at the future, looked at my goals and what I'm actually building towards in the future. So it didn't just feel like this was one kind of box that I was in, because that's sometimes what happens on iTalki. Your teachers are like, okay, he's booking a lesson with me. This is a lesson. It's like an individual piece, right? But with her, it was kind of like a domino, right? It was a piece of a line of pieces that were building towards certain goals. So she would talk about in the future what we could do in the future. She spoke about the past and how I have improved or how I haven't improved, right? And I'm very gracious to her incredible memory, because she would remember things that I would say. And again, this is something I've kind of stolen as being a good teacher, but also a good listener, to listen to what your students say, even about their personal life. And if it comes up in conversation, you could bring it up, like, oh, how did your trip go? How did the fishing trip go with your family a couple weeks ago? We can't remember everything that's going on in our students' lives, but if you could remember one or two things, and kind of bring it up in an organic way, like Nouhaila has, God, it's just fantastic. Number 9, her name is Merve. She is a German teacher as well. She is a fantastic listener. We were really able to talk about just about anything, health and wellness and yoga and living in different places and moving around. God, one thing I really admire about her is that she actually gave her former students discounts. And that's not why I threw her in this video, actually, because I don't think I've taken her up on the offer anyway. But I just saw that on her profile one time, and I thought that's really nice that she's showing some respect to her former students, or to her long-term students, I suppose, just because that's what I do as well. And I thought that was really nice. She has great knowledge of other languages as well. We've spoken about Holland and about Dutch. And one of my favorite things to talk to teachers about is actually language learning, because I'm a huge language nerd. So I love to nerd out with people like Merve, people like Nouhaila, people like Isadora, and all the rest on the list. The final teacher, number 10, she's a French teacher as well. But one thing that I find is particularly special about Alina is the fact that she's from Romania. And she learned French as an au pair. She has such a high level of French. She sounds just fantastic. She's incredibly friendly. But again, I think one of the best things is that she's a learner like me. And a lot of my teachers are learners, but I think she's the only teacher I have who actually learned the language that I took a class with her in. So I really think that's fantastic. I've taken dozens of lessons with Alina. So if you're looking to learn French, and especially if you want to speak to somebody who has probably gone through some of the same situations that you have gone through as well as a learner, definitely take a lesson with Alina. For me as a learner, I do not think that only native speakers are worthy of offering classes. I have taken some of the best lessons with non-native speakers as well, right? And one thing that I could say about everybody on this list, all 10, is that I think all of them are making an effort to learn another language. And this is probably what's making the difference between them and a lot of the teachers who I don't rebook classes with. So, as I said before, if you have any teacher you want to nominate, please throw them down in the box below. These are only 6 languages. I want to hear about your favorite Korean teacher, your favorite Arabic teacher, your favorite Mandarin teacher, any other language. And you could even talk about these languages as well. Have you taken lessons with these teachers? What did you like about their classes? Let us know. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that was useful for you. And until next time, keep smiling.